जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तेरा वनचारी यमुना तेरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय प्रभुपादा 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 जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमदभय चरणारविंद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप कबीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय। मायपुर नवदीप धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। जमुना माई की जय। नर्मदा माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद दिव्य पुस्तक वितरण की जय। यो धर्म हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की यज्ञ की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to His divine grace. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakhaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udabadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavams Shri Rupam Shagarajatam Sagara Rupnadanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्णपादान् सगणिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकास स्वामिनिति नामिने नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे दूरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं मंगलं गायते ग्रीमत् कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुनिरतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्येश्वर हरे कृष्णा good evening to all devotees. Welcome to our online reading session of mothers and masters on the occasion of Mother's Day, which is going to be tomorrow. Of course, due to pandemic, they may not be celebrating in a big way, but anyhow, I hope everybody is able to hear me. If they are able to hear me, then you can keep a message, place a message in the chat box. Yes, I can hear, or we can hear you, like that, so that we can start our reading. Yeah. So without wasting any more time, just directly dive into the book. So we are reading from this book, Mothers and Masters, by His Holiness Bhaktivikas Swami Maharaj. Previously, the book was named called as Women, Masters or Mothers, and this is the third edition of the book. It's revised and enlarged. So the title is Mothers and Masters, Bhaktivikas Swami Maharaj, Bhaktivikasa Swami. And in the blurb, that means in the rear page, rear cover, this is the front cover, this is the rear cover. So then the rear cover we will read, and then we will go through the book. So in the blurb, Maharaj writes, Mothers and Masters presents traditionalist arguments for the direction of the Krishna consciousness movement, proposing that we should take up Srila Prabhupada's mandate to establish Varnashram Dharma rather than capitulate to the norms and ideologies of the secular culture. Particularly discussed are gender roles, parental responsibilities, feminist follies, and some of Srila Prabhupada's more controversial teachings, such as those concerning early marriage, divorce, and polygamy. A must read for every member of our ISKCON society. If we simply ignore this book as irrelevant or fanatical, our tendency as a religious movement will no doubt be to adopt the spirit of modernism, thus inviting calamity upon our spiritual progress both individually and collectively. Falini Devi Dasi, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Prabhupada, ACBSP, USA. I agree with every line of this wonderful book. In ISKCON, I am always looking for women who can inspire us with their personal examples of being good mothers and at the same time maintaining good sadhana. I find the actions of such mothers speaking louder than the voice of the woman sitting in front of the microphone and delivering lectures. Shri Brajalila Devi Dasi, JPS, Flight Lieutenant, retired IAF, India. The book makes it clear why Stri Dharma is very much relevant for the women of ISKCON here and now, if we want to show the world a positive example of stable family life, happy children, and harmonious marriages. Malyahari Kunda Devidasi, KRKS, Sweden. Superficially, the book might be judged as an attack on women's freedom and emancipation, but it is just the opposite. It is a very brave and noble attempt to make us women aware of the dangerous traps of Maya in the form of modern society. Linus Blom van den Score, MA Philosophy, Denmark. This book also contains a DVD which has 175 lectures given by Maharaj in various occasions on various topics relating to Varnashram and women roles and gender roles in ISKCON and regarding Varnashram. So many of the devotees know about this book, and still I would like to give the link so that those devotees who, if at all they don't have this book, can order this. So I have given the link. Okay. Somebody wants to chat. What is it? I just want to know whether this Mothers and Masters, which the material which I have shared, is everybody able to view it? This one, the PDF file which is coming on the screen. Everybody is able to view it, because some people are, some devotees are saying that you didn't share the material. Material not shared. Sripati Raj Bharat. I have shared it, so it is, everybody can observe it. Sripati Raj Bharat. Raj Bharat. Oh, I think you are from same Raj Bharat from Telangana. You can view it. It is visible to everybody. Oh, few people are not able to see. Oh, Krishna. Only front page is displayed. I didn't scroll the book. Only front page is displayed because I'm going to read it. Okay. So we'll continue to read. Hare Krishna. Mothers and Masters. It will come. Just these are other publications from Bhakti Vikas Trust. So this is the cover page. Mothers and Masters, a monograph of members of ISKCON, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, revised and enlarged, third edition, Bhakti Vikas Swami, published by Bhakti Vikas Trust. So, dedicated to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Everything will be satisfied, just like our women, Krishna conscious. They are working. They don't want equal rights with the men. It is due to Krishna consciousness. They are cleansing the temple. They are cooking very nicely. They are satisfied. They never said that I have to go to Japan for preaching like Prabhupada. They never say. This is artificial. Krishna consciousness means work in his constitutional position. The women, men, when they remain in their constitutional position, there will be no artificial. Srila Prabhupada, Conversation, 27th May 1974. So these are the contents. So abbreviations such as BG means Bhagavad Gita, CC means Chaitanya Charitamrita, SB means Srimad Bhagavatam, PPT means Bhaktivedanta Purport. So if there are any questions or something they want to ask, there is a question tab over here. You can place your questions. Maybe after half an hour or so, I would ask few devotees to raise questions. If there are no questions, then we can proceed further. And there are many devotees who would love to read also. So I would pick up some devotees. So if they have a mic, proper mic, already material is shared. If they have a proper mic, then they can very well read. because like that we did for Ramayana, we did for Speaking Strongly, we did for Speaking Strongly book, while reading Speaking Strongly book, while reading Ramayana book, while reading Glimpses of Traditional Indian Life, we read Jai Srila Prabhupada. So I invite devotees to have a mic with them, a proper mic, in such a way that all the devotees, those who are hearing, can clearly hear them. Okay. Preface to the third edition. New in this third edition are many favorable reviews by female devotees. An additional section, spiritually beneficial, can be socially adverse, and some other additions and alterations to the main text. However, the most striking changes are the new title and cover design in response to complaints about the former versions. I think maybe I should increase the font. Yes. The previous cover featured a female soldier, meant to symbolize how far and how distastefully modern women have traveled from her innate femininity, but was deemed by some to be overly provocative. The earlier title, Women Masters or Mothers, was opined by some to present a false dichotomy, for women can be both mothers and masters. In fact, I had already acknowledged that in some ways women can indeed be masters. See the section, The Transformation of Women's Roles, page 86. But their defining role is not as a master, as Srila Prabhupada explained. Women's natural position is to remain dependent on a man. But if some woman artificially tries to become man or master, that is suffering. In India, the women voluntarily surrender to the subjugation of the husband. But there are many families, hundreds and thousands even, they are happy. That's a fact. And in the Western countries, they want to remain independent, so they are not happy. This is my study because I have seen the Western world and the Eastern world. Lecture 3rd August 1974. Thus, since first being published almost a year ago, this book has caused quite an uproar between its supporters and detractors. However, it was not intended to stir up unnecessary controversy, but to bring to the attention of ISKCON members, especially the leaders, the long overdue 50% of Srila Prabhupada's mission establishing Varnashrama Dharma. The success of this book has been in bringing the forefront some major issues that vitally require discussion among Srila Prabhupada's followers. Considering that the former cover and title were particularly criticized, I have changed these in the hope that its detractors will now seriously consider its subject matter instead of merely seeking to ban the book, which they have already attempted and with some success. As Srila Prabhupada so lucidly analyzed, much is wrong with the world today, especially in the West. Marriage is practically now an imagination in human society. Men and women do not know how to live together peacefully, and they produce children who simply create further disturbance. Mothers and Masters addresses the confusion regarding gender roles, which is the underlying cause of much of this ongoing social disaster, and presents a clear alternative. Whereas the opponents of this book seem determined to adjust devotional life to fit into and perpetuate a civilization that Srila Prabhupada certified to be on the level of cats and dogs. Srila Prabhupada's mission was Sarve Sukhino Bhavantu. Let everyone be happy. Bhagavad Gita, Lecture 4th June 1969. to educate people how to be happy in this lifetime by practicing Krishna consciousness within Varnashrama Dharma, and to thus prepare in the best possible way for the next life. To this end, Srila Prabhupada wanted that his disciples show an ideal example to the world by establishing Krishna conscious communities wherein everyone performs his prescribed role, for instance, and importantly, that men are really men and women are clearly women by dress, behavior, and temperament. Moreover, women, moreover, protected women are an auspicious source of energy to man, being naturally motherly and affectionate, shy and chaste, and ensuring that their children are healthy and bright. Consequently, the men actually become inspired to assume responsibility for protecting and providing. All happily cooperating together, they live on the lap of nature, depending on Krishna's bounty. Mothers and Masters is the first publication to present a multifaceted case for the traditional approach to Krishna consciousness, whereby everyone can be happy in the Vedic way as described by Srila Prabhupada. I humbly request all followers of Srila Prabhupada, especially those who have objected to this book, to patiently and carefully consider the points outlined herein and to excuse any excesses or inaccuracies that they might perceive, so that all of us might come to a better understanding of these matters and thus conjointly strive to fulfill the great Varnashram mission mandated by Srila Prabhupada. Preface to the second edition. The first edition of this book was released just a few weeks back ago. However, several important points were not included therein due to time constraints in the rush to make it available for the GBC meetings in Mayapur in early 2015. Shortly after the first edition went on sale in Mayapur, the Executive Committee (EC) of the GBC ordered the confiscation of the banners and posters used to promote it. The banners and posters consisted of quotes from the text of the book along with photos of the front cover. Soon thereafter, I received an email from Anuttama Das on behalf of the EC, part of which went as follows. One of the primary purposes of Mayapur festival is to create a sense of community, friendship, and camaraderie among ISKCON devotees. It is the opinion of the EC that the ton of the banners and posters used to promote your books run contrary to that goal and values. We respect that devotees have a right to a variety of opinions, but we believe those opinions need to be expressed in a way that doesn't offend or demean others. The EC received several complaints about the banners and upon discussing decided they should remain down. Their tone, in our estimation, was derogatory, disturbing, and divisive. Srila Prabhupada instructed the leaders of ISKCON to come to Mayapur every year to discuss unity in diversity. While we may differ in viewpoints and methods of serving His Divine Grace, there is a need to maintain civility in our chosen ways of communicating. We, the EC members, have not read the book yet, and we reserve our opinion on such. We have not restricted or prohibited the sale of the book. Continuing, it is not my intention to offend or demean anyone, nor to unnecessarily incite disturbance or division. However, before we stress unity, let us first be united in understanding Srila Prabhupada's teachings and in acting accordingly. As I stated in my memories of Srila Prabhupada, remembrance of Srila Prabhupada, love for Srila Prabhupada, praise of Srila Prabhupada, and service to Srila Prabhupada must all be based on obeying Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, such sentiments are superficial, hypocritical, and devoid of the potency to fulfill Srila Prabhupada's mission of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. On speaking strongly in Srila Prabhupada's service, I wrote, according to the principle of unity and diversity that Srila Prabhupada often stressed, the Krishna consciousness movement can and should accommodate a variety of approaches toward the practice and propagation of devotional service. Yet, in many cases, the difference is not simply of approach, but a fundamental divergence in understanding what Krishna consciousness entails and of the very purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement. I respectfully submit that it is unrealistic to cite unity in diversity without conceding that a fundamental divergence exists within ISKCON over the issue of gender roles. That there is a fundamental divergence is upheld by outside scholars. The issue of women in, that is ISKCON, has been troublesome for many years, both within its own boundaries and in the depictions of those outside it. For large numbers of devotees, predominantly women, but some men, it has been a deeply painful matter and has been perhaps second only to the issue of the status and role of the Guru in threatening the future of the movement. The debate about the position of women in ISKCON is so contentious that some would question the need to air the subject in this journal at all, while others would object if we did not. It is difficult to ignore the subject since approximately half of ISKCON members are women and many, if not most, come from societies where gender issues are openly discussed. The divergence is so deep that even a presentation such as this book, that consists of reasoned arguments backed by capious quotes from Srila Prabhupada, is likely to be seen as derogatory, disturbance, and divisive by devotees who maintain a contrary perspective, whereas others are appalled by the male-female dynamic that for several years has been emanating from ISKCON's leadership. Clearly, my stating this will not please the feministic elements in ISKCON's leadership. Notwithstanding the EC's claims of negative reports, the book sold well in Mayapur and seemed to be especially well received by many female devotees. So we informed devotees that we have sold more than 10,000 copies of this book. I personally sold many books in Mayapur, Vrindavan, Ujjain, Srirangam, Dwarka, Delhi, many places. I personally sold to many devotees. Furthermore, a major turnaround in the ISKCON's social polity took place just after the book's release. A proposal to bring Varnashrama Dharma onto the ISKCON agenda was almost unanimously accepted by the GBC. Nevertheless, I have chosen to retain within this book much that might seem to be anachronized by that decision. For instance, the chapter ISKCON's disconnect with Varnashram. To at least underscore the enormous task of reorienting a society that has for an entire generation been adrift in this regard. Although, in my perhaps not very humble opinion, the first edition stated a powerful case, this second edition is more comprehensive, having undergone considerable revision and expansion. May it be pleasing to Srila Prabhupada and his faithful followers. Introduction. Hare Krishna, I can request some devotees to read. Raghavananda Prabhu, I am seeing your name here as Raghavananda Prabhu. I have given you access to the mic. So if you have mic, you could continue reading from introduction, if it is okay for you. Hare Krishna. Maybe Prabhuji is unable to see it. Okay. Okay. Rashekar Prabhu, if you could see on the face of your screen, you can tap the yes button, then continue to read.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Can you
Hare
hear me,
Krishna.
Prabhu?
Yes, I can hear you. I can see you and I can hear you also.
Okay, thank you.
So you
Yeah.
can start reading from introduction until 7:30. Then I can give another 15 minutes to
Okay.
another 20.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshna Bhutale Shanti Bhakti Vikasa Swamini. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshna Bhutale Shanti Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tanune. Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Nirvishesha Shunyavad Paschatya Desha. Within the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, ISKCON, as in the great world around us, there are innumerable issues under discussion: political, social, economic, academic, scientific, etc. Many of the controversies in ISKCON center around the point: should we pragmatically try to blend with modern society and adjust our teachings for the sake of preaching, or idealistically strive to create a Krishna consciousness revolution via Varnashrama Dharma? Obviously, these two vectors are not mutually exclusive. Every follower of Srila Prabhupada accepts that ISKCON is meant for preaching Krishna consciousness. And preaching in today's world necessitates various adaptations. But how far should we go? What is permissible and what is not? For example, should we have rock bands or just stick to traditional kirtan? Do we incorporate the roles that contemporary Western society ascribes to women and homosexuals, or stick to Srila Prabhupada's stated stance, which nowadays is widely viewed as antiquated, meanly discriminating, and unfair? One reason for dispute is that Srila Prabhupada made adjustments for Western preaching, yet also repeatedly emphasized the superiority of Vedic culture and the need to introduce it. Should Srila Prabhupada's cultural adjustments be permanently institutionalized or taken further? Or should we rather adopt more of the Indianness that Srila Prabhupada be bequeathed us by motivating closer toward orthodox Vedic culture?
Moving closer toward.
By moving closer toward orthodox Vedic culture. Some devotees give greater importance to Srila Prabhupada's willingness to adjust, while others emphasize the necessity to make real moves toward his state objective. For Varnashrama Dharma, as the social enactment of Krishna consciousness to offer an ideal alternative for today's unhappy world, the dichotomy is largely between the traditional and the modern or Western. Throughout this tract, I often use the word traditional to refer to the way of life that characterized India in the past and is widely followed still, as distinguished from modern or Western attitudes and norms, which are also extensively integrated into Indian life today. In some places, I also use the word traditional to refer to ancient cultures that, in certain significant ways, parallel the Vedic. My frequent use of the word natural indicates that which is according to the universal order as ordained by the Supreme Lord. Unless specifically indicated by my unless specifically indicated, my repeated references to feminism and feminists pertain particularly to those in the secular world, some manifestations of which are discussed herein. Although I argue that feminism within ISKCON is a reflection of that in the broader society and is deeply influenced by it, I do not mean to insinuate that any devotees of ISKCON propound the more extreme and pernicious forms of feminism. ISKCON's cultural divide is not unique. Similar controversies are playing out in many other religious institutions. For instance, both with ISKCON and in various Christian denominations, Some mentors tend to privilege the perceived needs of individuals over over the preservation of marriages, and thus are considerably more inclined to recommend divorce to couples undergoing serious marital discord. Whereas other mentors, such as myself, will generally advise to tolerate many difficulties rather than undermine the sacred institution of marriage. Some people will protest that the latter approach messes up lives, especially those of women, but many will acquiesce. Yes, this is what we need to hear. This kind of guidance is good for us. My basic argument is that the attempt to incorporate within ISKCON any viewpoints or belief systems derived from mainstream society risks compromising the authenticity of the Sankirtana movement and disconnecting us from Srila Prabhupada's mercy. I espouse that the traditional Indian way of life, the best for women's stability and peacefulness, for making the best bargain out of a bad situation, and that only the Vedic system is really suitable for facilitating progress in Krishna consciousness. I particularly state this position. Female followers of Srila Prabhupada should adapt the role of mother rather than master. Much of what is stated herein is especially applicable to the current situation in India and will be more germane and intelligible for devotees who live there. Although nearly all of these points would have been obvious to past generations, everywhere and still will be obvious to few remaining sane persons in these culturally challenged times. Unfortunately, it cannot be expected that everyone will accept everything in this book, especially since one of its purposes is to counteract the erroneous propaganda that Srila Prabhupada treated men and women equally in all respects. Even devotees who generally appreciate the recommendations herein might circumstantially be unable to follow them. For instance, many devotees are virtually locked into modern society. Certain women are practically obliged to go to work. Some couples are unable to beget children, and some devotees who never wanted to divorce are presented with no other choice by their recalcitrant spouse. Clearly, modern society is very different from Vedic civilization. As Srila Prabhupada has described it, and to follow Vedic culture is easier said than done. Life is often more complex than can be governed by a simple set of rules. And furthermore, to perform devotional service according to the manner taught by Srila Prabhupada. Inevitably, necessities defying conventional norms. As stated by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, what is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self control. And the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. Notwithstanding the inevitable difficulties that will arise in attempting to adapt the values described herein, my hope is that many devotees will, as far as possible, try to gravitate toward them according to each individual's degree of conviction and specific circumstances. Part 1 of this book is based on and developed from a lecture titled The Basic Mistake of All Reformers, given on 15 January 2013 in Vellore, India. Part 2 is from a 3-session seminar titled Women, Masters or Mothers, held on 13-14 June 2009 in Secunderabad, India. Part 3 mostly consists of previously published articles, 5 on topics related to gender issues within ISKCON, including one by Palini Devi Dasi and a newly published essay by Revati Devi Dasi, and also 3 more of mine that are op- opposite to the direction of the Krishna consciousness movement, including the previously unpublished Playing the Hindu card. These articles are reproduced herein almost exactly as they first appeared, without editorial corrections or addition of diacritical marks. This tract outlines general principles, but a huge body of research will be required to establish the details of Varnashrama Dharma. Although many related topics such as how men and women should dress and interact also require considerable discussion, all such details will have to be covered in forthcoming books. This
Covered.
covered, sorry, we will have to be covered in forthcoming books. This volume is directional and by no means exhaustive. It also features many generalizations and personal views of mine, albeit derived from a perspective grounded in Shastra. It is not presented in an academic manner, in the sense of including meticulously fashioned arguments, accompanied by comprehensive information and references. I crave the indulgence of the readers should they find some points herein to be repetitive. For repetition of something is necessary in order that we understand the matter thoroughly without error. Bhaktivikasa Swami.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, bro.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anything to be rectified from my
Uh, Rectified again and again. If we read, we can know how to read properly. These words, some of the words are very new to us. Maharaj is habituated to use those words. We have not heard such words. Maharaj uses those such type of words. So again and again, by reading again and again, we will read nicely. That is the Indian word. Devotees asking questions. Prabhuji, it is only reading book session or will you explain also? Manish ji is asking. It's mostly this is reading session, so we are only reading. If at all in between, if somebody has any question, we might take up in between, maybe half an hour or at the end of the session. But generally, mostly we'll be just reading the book, because this is also one of the ways, pathanam. There are many ways to shastras can be read, by giving explanation, by giving preaching, giving the commentary, writing commentary, by enacting dramas, by even reading the books. So that is also one way. And as far as Maharaj, this book is concerned, it is like an open book. Everybody can understand, but just by reading itself. Mm. Uh, it is self-explanatory book. But still, if devotees want some explanation, some points need to be explained, then we can very well explain to them via questions. They can ask in this question tab. Definitely. I think I answered your question. So we will continue reading the book. Uh, can read. Okay. Asita Prabhu is there. Hare Krishna. Asita Prabhu, our old friend, was reading Ramayana also with us, and now he has come. Hare Krishna. Asita Prabhu.
Are you able to hear me? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah, you can continue to read. You're able to scroll the page. You're able to take the control of the page. No.
No. I don't have that control.
1 second. Okay. I think can't do that. Okay, Broji, I will move the page. That's not a problem. You can.
Okay. Part 1. The direction of the Krishna consciousness movement. Merge with modern society or present the Varnashrama Dharma alternative.
1 second. Okay.
Devotees' concern with and approach to social issues. Why should devotees be at all concerned with social issues? Shouldn't we just speak about Krishna and topics directly related to Krishna consciousness? Certainly, devotional service is ultimately a purely spiritual process. Yet within this world, psychological and social factors undeniably influence persons who are trying to cultivate spiritual consciousness. The outlook and attitudes of an aspiring transcendentalist will necessarily be affected by his previous impressions and by how he lives and acts within human society within society. Footnote. Lecture issues on or Naam Bhajana or both. End footnote.
You can just
Okay.
read, Prabhu, because there are so many footnotes. We can't scroll down again and again. I think so,
Hmm.
and
Okay.
it contains, and devotees them. I will put like this so that devotees can easily see the footnote as well as the page. You're able to read it?
Like I have to scroll down when I read the footnote, but
No, but now your whole page is visible.
yeah,
No.
whole page is not visible. I have to scroll like I have right now I am able to see that in that regard paragraph, and to go down I'll have to scroll it also.
Oh, you are able to scroll down then.
Yes, I'm able
So
to do it.
then you are able to do means I will not do anything over here. So you can yourself continue.
Okay, but I won't be able to turn the page then.
Turn
I
the
can.
page. I will do it.
Okay,
I'm following up with you,
okay,
and I will.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, bro.
Oh, that page you are able to control. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that page I can scroll up and down. Yes.
Okay. 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 Continue, Prabhuji.
In that regard, within the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedic social organization is discussed, along with the direct delineation of Krishna consciousness. For instance, the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam features an extended section wherein Narada, who is famous as a brahmachari, explains the various duties of the four social orders and also the duties of women and related matters. And various shastras, Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Mahabharata, Shiv Purana, record graphic dialogues wherein Narada inquires about and is instructed on the nature of women. Srila Prabhupada often discussed such subjects and gave many insights and directions pertaining to them. Srila Prabhupada made it clear that a major objective of ISKCONs is to reform human society so that the general populace may more easily take to Krishna consciousness. To achieve this stated goal of Srila Prabhupada's, the members of the Krishna consciousness movement must be clear about the social vision that he gave us so that we can methodically work to affect it within the overall society. As with all other endeavors undertaken for the sake of Krishna, our approach toward reforming society must begin with our Acharya's vision, as they have explained it from the Shastras, authorized revealed scriptures. This means that our social vision is primarily realized from the verses of the Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and especially the commentaries on them written by ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Our social vision should be based on Srila Prabhupada's books because he ascribed the highest authority to them. In the following quotation based on the text of Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada explained the importance of Varnashrama Dharma. The effect of adhering to the institution of Varnashrama is gradual elevation to the spiritual platform and liberation from material bondage. By following the principles of Varnashrama Dharma, one gets the opportunity to associate with devotees. Such association gradually awakens one's dormant propensity to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead and frees one from all the basic principles of sinful life. One then gets the opportunity to offer unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Lord Vasudeva. Or, as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur put it, the main reason for the cultivation of Varnashrama Dharma is to maintain the body, develop the mind, perform good works for society, and learn spiritual topics, all with the goal of developing pure devotional service. Who can deny the necessity of the Varnashrama institution as long as the living being is bound up in the human body? If it is abandoned and the above mentioned four principles are lacking, the jiva will go astray and no good whatsoever will accrue to him. One should therefore strictly adhere to the rules governing Varnashrama for the sake of of the mind, society, and one's advancement in Krishna consciousness. But the observance of Varnashram Dharma is not the sole business of the jiva. Therefore, with the assistance of Varnashrama Dharma, one must cultivate pure devotional service. The purpose of the Varnashrama institution is to facilitate the practice of devotional service. Srila Prabhupada often emphasized the necessity and urgency of establishing Varnashram Dharma. There should be a thorough overhauling of the social system, and society should revert to the Vedic principles, that is, the four Varnas and the four Ashramas. The whole world has now become hell. So, the Krishna consciousness movement is a very important movement. It is overhauling the whole human, social, political, religious. So those who are engaged in in the Krishna consciousness movement should be very, very responsible, sober, try to understand the situation, and take shelter of Krishna, and everything will become very successful. Thus, Srila Prabhupada's social vision of establishing Varnashram Dharma derived from Shastra, and the desire of the previous acharyas is clear and is stated profusely throughout his recorded teachings. Yet conversely, an alternative social vision that is not based on Srila Prabhupada's books has become predominant within ISKCON. This vision was articulated in 1998 by Jyotirmayi Devi Dasi in her paper Women in ISKCON in Prabhupada's Times, which provided a manifesto for a brand of affirmative action feminism within ISKCON. Therein she wrote, Authenticity of the proposed arguments. Our subject here deals with the social application of Krishna conscious principles, not with philosophical knowledge. Therefore, many of the arguments given here do not come from Prabhupada's books, but from conversations between Srila Prabhupada and his disciples in daily encounters, most of which, of course, did not get recorded. Many devotees do not trust these Prabhupada said, but Prabhupada himself gave his opinion about these Prabhupada said. In a reunion in Mayapur in 1975, the GBC told Prabhupada, there are so many, Prabhupada said, better only accept what is in the books and tapes. Srila Prabhupada answered, no, what I say in talks also. Many things I say are not in my books. From Himavati. My information is coming from a notebook in which all along the years I noted the anecdotes related to me by devotees who lived closely with Prabhupada or by devotees who received the stories from these first disciples. My other stories, which are irrefutable, are from Srila Prabhupada's letters. There are many difficulties with the above stated argument, but I will briefly discuss two of the most problematic. First, the social vision articulated by Jyotirmai Mata is not based on statements from Srila Prabhupada's books. Although she sometimes does cite Srila Prabhupada, she emphasizes that her main argument depends primarily on anecdotes about Srila Prabhupada recounted by other devotees, and she states that her citations from Srila Prabhupada's published letters, albeit irrefutable, are only secondary evidence, for her anecdotal testimony is prime. But Srila Prabhupada told us, everything I have wanted to say, I have said in my books. And in a letter he wrote, they misunderstand me. Unless it is there from me in writing, there are so many things that Prabhupada said. This is irrefutable counter evidence to Jyotirmai Devi Dasi's main argument, yet she attributes more weight to the anecdote by Himavati Devi Dasi, whose testimony cannot be considered irrefutable. The second and maybe even more troubling problem with Jyotirmai's social vision is that she disconnects the philosophical knowledge presented in Srila Prabhupada's books from the social application of Krishna consciousness from unrecorded anecdotes. Even if the anecdotes are 100% accurate, they nonetheless must be understood in light of what Srila Prabhupada has presented in his books. Her distinction between philosophical knowledge and application is improper on the principle that definite unity of thought pervades all of Srila Prabhupada's statements, whether recorded or not. Hence, for followers of Srila Prabhupada, any authentic social vision for ISKCON or beyond must derive its authority primarily from Srila Prabhupada's books. This principle of unity can be understood from an exchange with Professor Stahl, wherein Srila Prabhupada stated, as the goal of spiritual realization is only one, love of God, so the Vedas stand as a single comprehensive whole in the matter of transcendental understanding. Only the incomplete views of various parties, apart from the bona fide Vedic lines of teaching, give a rapturous appearance to the Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, since Srila Prabhupada perfectly represents a bona fide Vedic line, his statement should be assumed to be a single comprehensive whole in the matter of transcendental understanding, and therefore any bona fide vision of a Krishna conscious society must mainly derive from Srila Prabhupada's books. As a general principle, statements made by Srila Prabhupada in his books are more authoritative than other of his statements, which certainly are valuable but only if accepted as secondary evidence. Feminism within ISKCON is further discussed in part 2 of this book. Therein, more stress has been given to women's duties than those of men. Because a major disparity in modern society is that of women trying to become like men, not vice versa. And because accordingly there is little dispute over men's roles, indeed there is broad consensus regarding the expected moral duties and social responsibilities of men. Moreover, any discussion about the reforming of men must involve extensive analysis of the roles of females due to the phenomenon of lust arising when the opposite sexes associate closely. Of course, it is essential that men know how to relate properly both with their wives and with other women. Hence, that topic is examined later in this book. Krishna consciousness is largely incompatible with modern culture. Srila Prabhupada forthrightly and untiringly pointed out the defects of modern society because he wanted to awaken people to their plight and give them the truth of Krishna consciousness, which is the only panacea for the myriad troubles of mankind. He referred to the soul killing civilization and the civilization of polished cats and dogs, and analyzed the whole situation thus. The completely bewildered material civilization is strongly directed toward the fulfillment of desires in sense gratification. In such civilization, in all spheres of life, the ultimate end is sense gratification. In politics, social service, altruism, philanthropy, and ultimately in religion or even in salvation, the very same tint of sense gratification is ever increasingly predominant. In the political field, the leaders of men fight with one another to fulfill their personal sense gratification. The voters adore the so called leaders only when they promise sense gratification. As soon as the voters are dissatisfied in their own sense gratification, they dethrone the leaders. The leaders must always disappoint the voters by not satisfying their senses. The same is applicable in all other fields. No one is serious about the problems of life. Indubitably, modern society fits Krishna's description of the demons as given in chapter 16 of the Bhagavad Gita. It is a distinctly unpleasant civilization, characterized by monstrous efforts to amass wealth and to develop industry, science, the military, and educational institutions dedicated to spewing out even ever more useless knowledge, all for the sake of outdoing and dominating others. Being based on Dehatma Buddhi, the bodily concept of life, and the quest for sense gratification, it has a completely different outlook from the Vedic. A prime example is the modern attitude regarding women's role in society. Devotees should understand that the endeavor to be Krishna conscious while operating on a template that is basically demoniac will simply not work. Krishna has prescribed a particular way of life, Varnashrama Dharma, with rules and regulations to be followed and attitudes to be imbibed, and therefore it is foolish and arrogant to think that we have a better idea than Krishna, or to consider it acceptable to neglect Krishna's prescription. On Srila Prabhupada's order, and by his mercy, the preaching of Krishna consciousness is continuing throughout the world. Persons who become inspired by that preaching and desire to become Krishna conscious will want to know how to best practice devotional service. But the praxis of Krishna consciousness do not go well with modern culture because today's lifestyle is based on sense gratification, whereas Krishna consciousness ultimately requires that we forswear even the thought of sense gratification. However, most devotees today have little choice but to try to make the best use of bad bargain. Because ISKCON has not yet developed the Varnashrama alternative that Srila Prabhupada mandated.
Okay, bro. We'll stop here. And
Okay.
some of the misconception, actually, just wanted to stop because we can continue tomorrow from here, scientism from another topic rather than a page. Then we
Yeah,
will
Prabhu.
we'll forget page number. Then, of course, we'll not forget. We'll type it. So we'll continue from tomorrow. Before that, I just wanted to tell devotees that some devotees or many devotees have the misconception that this book is for the Matajis only. It's not for Prabhujis. Brahmachari should not read this book. What is required for us to know about mothers, whether women are mothers or masters or not? Prabhupada said to call them Matajis. We are calling. What is it? And why some people are calling Matajis Prabhujis? What is it for us? Why we should bother? We should not bother anything. We should just go on with whatever we are service is there. वो सब बड़े बड़े लोग मतलब they are all big people. Why we should involve in so many things? So this is not Prabhupada wanted that everybody should know what is happening in and around philosophically, scientifically. We should understand. We may not change everybody. At least we ourselves should have a clear understanding what Prabhupada wanted from us. This is not a book relating to women, although the title is given like that because Maharaj said it's like a hook so that devotees will immediately grab the book. But it is mostly about the Srila Prabhupada's mandate to establish Varnashrama Dharma. So, in order to make people understand, if the title would be just Varnashrama, reviving Varnashrama, then they will think this is one another book on Varnashrama. But if the book title is given Women Masters or Mothers, and it create an uproar in society, in our ISKCON society, to know what is there in the book. Many devotees, they came to the bookstall and asked, what is there in this book, Prabhu? I want to read. And just by reading the titles and reading the contents of the book, I don't show the, generally whenever I take the book and hand over the book in the hands of devotees, I tell them to just um, go to the contents of the book. By reading the contents of the book itself, they will understand, oh, this book is very important for us. It's not just for Matajis, it's not just for Prabhujis, for everybody, whoever is in ISKCON, every member. So this is there are some misconceptions about the book. So many devotees, actually I experienced at least one instance in my book distribution, in my distributing of this book, that one devotee, he took the book and he showed his I don't know what had happened. He came after 10 minutes to me and said that, Prabhuji, I don't want this book, I want another book. I will take another book in because like, I don't want this book. So I had to convince him afterwards to take the book, but still he didn't take the book because his counselor told him that this book is banned, you should not read this book. So there's so many misconceptions. People think, still devotees think that this book is banned, we should not read this book. Okay, I think GBC has banned this book now, why we should read this book? Like that, they have a gossip among themselves. So still, even though it is so many gossips are going on in the background, still this book is very famous among devotees. Many devotees, those who have read this book, have ideally told us that this book has changed our life. This book has clearly shown us what Prabhupada wanted. So over a period of time, we will know from Maharaj writing that how Maharaj is meticulously writing such a lines, how he is able to write such a lines. So unless and until we read it, we imbibe these. Many Matajis who have read, many Prabhujis, those who have read, they have understood. So so that's what I wanted to tell. There are so many things I'm not able to recollect. Over a period of time, I will be telling them. And before wrapping up, if devotees have any question, anything to ask, then they can directly ask by a hand button is there in your this one. You can just click that so that I can get to know that you want to access the mic. Then I can give you the access so that you can speak and let me know the question what you are going to ask. If there are no questions, then we can close. I No, this reading would be only on Saturday only. No. From here, from today until the book gets completed, we are going to read the book. So today is May 8th. Okay. So most probably by 22nd, I want to complete the book by reading book. So after that, we want to start Brahmacharya and Krishna consciousness on the occasion of Nrsimha Chaturdashi. So that also will be so some other an arrangement to announce. So we are going to start after this book. Immediately we are going to start reading from Brahmacharya and Krishna consciousness, where Mataji's, Prabhuji's, Chota Bacha, Bada Bacha, everybody can come. Those who can understand English. Timings would be the same. That we will announce on that day. Maybe the timings would be the same. Maybe 6:45 to 7:45 is right time. Many devotees are attending it.
She might be asking for this session.
Yeah. This timings are the same thing. 6:45 to 7:45. Krishna Kinkari Mataji is asking timings would be the same. Yes. Timings for this future sessions for this book are the same, 6:45 to 7:45. That's for sure. They were not going to change. If we are changing, we will inform you via email. If at all we are going to change the timings. I think devotees don't have any other questions, general questions from the book. Yeah, everything is self-explanatory. Nothing need to be explained further. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अन्ते निधाय तणकं पदयो निपत्य कृत्वा च काकुशतं एतदहं ब्रवीमि हे साधव सकलमेव्याय दुरान् चैतन्यचन्द्रचरणे कृतानुराग। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे. So we will be continuing to read from page number 30 here. I don't know, in this book it is page number 8. Okay, scientism, liberal humanism and selfishness. Okay, Hare Krishna. We will meet tomorrow at 6:45. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.